Welcome to this strengthening flow practice. In this practice, if you like comfort under your knees when you're kneeling, grab a blanket, and if forward folds are difficult, grab your blocks. And we'll meet today at the top of our mats in Tadasana, standing mountain pose. So about a foot or so away from the front of your mat, take a moment to shift the weight around your feet. Finding some equal balance in the left and right foot, and the front and back, the toes and the heels. And from there, grow tall. Externally rotate the shoulders a little bit, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Take a deep breath in. And out. Begin your Ujjayi breathing in and out through your nose. That soft sound accompanying your exhale, which will help you as we move through this flow practice. And if you spin your fingers out or palms out, circle your hands up, look up, deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold, hands down to the blocks or to the floor. So as I mentioned, if the floor isn't within reach, put something under your hands. Ease your way down into this first fold. We'll lift up halfway, hands to thighs on this first one, even if you can do lower. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, firm navel up to the spine, and exhale, touch the floor or your blocks once again. Soften into your knees, circle your hands out and up, look up. Put your right hand by your thigh and left over the top for a side body stretch. Inhale back up. Right hand back, left hand forwards into a standing twist. Looking back to the right hand. Both hands circle up. The left hand goes down, the right goes over the top, side body stretch. And inhale back up. And left hand back or right hand forwards. Twist. Inhale, both hands up. Cactus your elbows wide, lift up the chest. Reach back up and hands to your heart. Just warming up gently, yogis. Circle your hands up. Deep breath into the belly. Fold forwards, Ujjayi. Exhale helps you fold down. Start to engage your quads. Rest the hands on the blocks or the floor. Take an extra breath on this inhale, on this fold, sorry. Exhale. Halfway lift, stretch out your spine. And fold. Soft into your knees. Send your hands up. Big breath in. Right hand down, left over the top, side stretch. Inhale up. Right hand back, left hand forwards. Twist. Both hands up. Left hand down, exhale, side stretch. And up. Twist, left hand back, right hand forwards. Both hands up. Cactus the elbows, widen. And reach up. And hands to heart. Surya Namaskar A yogis. Circle your hands up, reaching tall. Fold forwards just like you've been doing. Hinge from the hips. Start to fire up the front of the body. Halfway lift. The hands might stay a little lower now as we start to warm up. And step your way back to a plank, please. Hands down, feet to the back. Grip your fingers into the mat. Push your arms. Shift forwards. And lower your knees down, please. This is where your blanket might be useful already. Take a breath in. Chaturanga all the way to the floor, please. Slowly lower. Turn the tops of the feet to the mat. Roll the shoulders down the spine. Lift the chest into cobra. Soften your way down. Press strongly up to tabletop. Tuck your toes but keep your knees down. Pick up the torso. And downward facing dog. This first one, maybe your hands are as wide as your mat. Your feet nice and wide as well. So when you're down dog, remember you can bend your knees a bit so you can lift your tail high. Elevate the shoulder blades so the shoulders are lifting up towards the ears as you push firmly into the mat with your hands. Distribute the weight through all of your hands, not just the heels of your hands. And look either right in the middle of your mat or at your toes. Take a deep breath in. Look forwards on your mat and walk or step up to your hands. Lift up halfway with your breath in and fold. Soften your knees. Stand up, circle up. Breathing in to reach to the ceiling. Hands to your heart is your exhale. Another one of those, please, yogi, circling up. Filling up with breath. Emptying out as you fold. Halfway lift. Lengthening your whole back from tailbone to top of your head. Hands down, step to your plank. Take your breath in, strengthen your arms, pull up the navel, shift forwards, knees down, chaturanga. So just taking the assist on these first couple of rounds. Tops of the feet press down, roll the chest up for Cobra Bhujangasana, back bend. Shoulders away from your ears, you soften down. Tuck your toes but keep your knees down. Pick up the pelvis and the chest at the same time. Strong push up and downward facing dog. Don't shorten up too much. Keep your arms strong. And start to feel the heels sinking a little bit. It's not our focus today to get into deep hamstring stretches, but down dog always is a good place to stretch your whole spine and the legs. Deep breath in. Try to remember which foot you step habitually with and use the other one. We'll step forwards. Inhale at the top, halfway lift again, hands as low or as high as you like, as long as your back flattens out. Exhale and fold. Then your hands up to the ceiling and to your heart. Interlace your hands behind you. Squeeze your palms together, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Start with a bit of a shoulder stretch this next round. We're going to warm up for our flow. A couple of specific parts of the body, so we're ready for the strength element of our practice. And release the hands, circle them up, breathing in. Back into your fold. Halfway lift. Step to your plank, just like we've been doing. Flow through your vinyasa, that's chaturanga to cobra. And I recommend knees down, still warming up. Cobra pose, heart lifts, lengthen the back of your neck out and fold down. Press your way up to a table and downward facing dog. Now we're going to lower your right knee to the mat or alternatively to your blanket if you prefer. Right hand just in front of your shoulder. So we're going to do some of the alignment of a side plank here. So right hand just in front of your shoulder, right knee down. You can take your right foot off the mat and spin your inner left foot to the floor. Take your left hand up over your head. Grip your right fingertips back towards the knuckles. Just pause here for a couple of breaths. We're going to do either these throughout our practice. This is your right-sided side plank, or there will be the option to take a stacked foot side plank. Both will build strength in the body. So So you do what feels right to you, modify and adjust to make it more challenging or more accessible as you need to. So we're going to pick up your left foot and pull your knee in towards your torso and look at the front of your mat. Step that left foot as far up the mat as you can. If it lands a bit short, take a hold of your ankle, walk it up there. And then start to stretch out into Anjaneyasana or low lunge. So the hips soften down. The hands can be on the front thigh for this variation. And just warming up still. Sink forwards and down, forwards and down. Squeeze the right glutes, the right side of your bum. Nice and active. And then we'll stretch out the left leg and fold over it, so our hamstring stretch, to prepare for our balance pose today. So your right shoulder feels like it's reaching towards your left big toe. If you also been using blocks for your forward fold, you might appreciate your blocks in half Hanuman as well, so that your spine can stay nice and long. So yogi, bend into the front knee, step your way back onto your downward facing dog. Nice and simple. Left knee comes down to your blanket or to the floor. Left hand goes just in front of your shoulder here in a side plank. Whether it's a knee side plank or the full side plank, you want to avoid having it too far back. Spin over onto the inner right foot. You can take your left foot off the side of your mat and take your right arm up to the sky. Feel like your ribs are expanding open to the ceiling. Take some breaths here and root through the knuckles and fingertips of the left hand. When you're in side planks, it can be in any variation, sometimes easier on a balance to look down. You've also got options to look out to the side. Or in any of them you can look up. Now, especially if you're stacking your side plank or you have a hold of a foot in side planks, looking up gets more challenging for the balance. You're going to pick which one works for you today. But do look down, pick up your right foot, squeeze a knee in towards your right underarm, spin forwards with control, lots of strength. Step that right foot up towards the top of your mat. And again, if it gets a little short, that's okay. Pick it up, walk it up there. And coming up into a low lunge, hands resting on the front knee as you sink forwards and down into the left hip flexor stretch. Find your breath again, yogis. And we'll stretch it back into half split. A reminder to grab your blocks if your hamstrings feel some resistance and it makes you round your back. Better to be higher up with a great stretch than lower down with a rounded spine. You won't feel the benefit as much, and it's also a little riskier on the spine to be rounded. Good. Bend into your front knee. Step your way back into your downward facing dog. Lower both knees down, please. Turn your hands to face the side of your mat and rock gently side to side. So before we do these weight-bearing poses, just a little bit of shimmy. And you can continue that, or turn your left hand forwards and turn your right palm to face, or right hand to face the right knee. Gently hinge back. Keep some lift in the navel. You can rock forwards and back 2 or 3 times. Again, just stretching out the wrist, preparing as for some of our weight-bearing poses on the hands, our side planks and chaturangas. And then we'll switch out the side. Turn your left palm around if you're doing this one. And lean back, and you can rock forwards and back. right, yogis. Sit back on your heels, just give your wrists some circles. And we're ready to go. So we'll begin this strengthening flow in downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and out. Good. Shift forwards to plank. Now we've already done one knee side plank, so that will be right knee down and spinning onto the inner left foot, left hand up. Alternatively, place your feet together, squeeze them together, roll onto the outside of a right foot, flex both feet lots, so toes towards the shins, and start to lift your left hand up. Stacking left hand directly over the right, squeeze the glutes, lift the waist towards the ceiling, drive through the right arm. Just a couple more breaths, keep pushing into the right hand. Embrace any shakes. One more breath in. One more breath out. And we're going to lift up that left knee just like we did a minute ago. Pick it up, pull it forwards, and with as much control as you can, slide your left foot up towards the top of your mat. There we go. Turning onto the right toes. Stay in a lunge. If you ended up short, you can walk your left foot forwards at this point. Tone into the belly. Keep your chest low for a start. Lift your hands up off of the floor. Pause there. Press your right heel back. Keep driving through the left foot. Another breath here, starting to get some strength into your legs. And stand up into a lunge, hands overhead. Sink your hips low, press your right heel back for 5. Squeeze the right glutes active. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hands to prayer. Lean forwards. When to stand on your left foot and end up in warrior 3. So right foot lifts up. You could tap it along the way. Parallel your chest and leg to the mat if you can. Extend through right toes and crown. If you want extra, reach your arms forwards for 5. Reach as far away as you can through the toes and fingers. 4. Keep the belly firm. 3. And the left quad. 2. 1. Hands down. Slide your right shin down to the floor just behind your left heel. And sit your way down to the floor with control. A little relief here, you'll wrap your right hand or elbow around your left knee and take a twist, just to give you a moment to pause. Okay, unravel. Counter twist it for evenness, just a second. And back to facing forwards. Lean back, Navasana, boat pose. Unhook your right foot. Tone the belly. Pick up your feet to parallel to the mat if you can. You could hold on to your thighs if you like, squeezing them close, or you can let go. Hold. Breathe. Use that Ujjayi breath, that powerful breath to help you. Now we're going to stretch out into a half boat. So the low back lowers down to the mat. Now you can keep your knees bent. Pull the navel down. If you want, straighten out the legs. Pause and breathe. And come on back up to your boat again. Pull it in. Pick up the chest, maybe the corners of the mouth. We're going to do that again, yogis. So remember, you can keep your knees bent. You could straighten out the legs. Low back finds the mat, belly down. Hands could even be overhead if you're feeling like a little bit extra. 3, 2, 1. Back up to your boat. Chest is up. 5. Squeeze the knees in towards the torso. 4, 3, 2, 1. Down towards your half boat. 5, 4. Hover it. 3, 2, 1. Release all the way down. Heels close to your bum, please, yogis. Hands close to your heels. Just lengthen out your low back. Yeah, make sure everything's in line, hip, knees and feet. When you're ready to pick up your hips into bridge, you can come up onto your upper arms, still holding the heels if you like, and squeeze actively in the glutes. Root down through all four corners of both feet. And we'll slowly lower all the way back down to our backs. If you need a little swish of your knees side to side to twist, you can. Just got a moment before we continue. All right, you're going to pull the knees in. Rock up to cross legs. You know, you can pop both feet out to the side if you want, or you can roll over. We'll step back to a plank. Settle into your plank. Shift forwards. 3 chaturanga push-ups, please. These can be from the knees. So forwards. Exhale halfway down. Press, inhale up. Shift and lower, exhale. Inhale up. One more time. Halfway down, strong core, strong arms up, and downward facing dog. Straight into our other side yoga, you can do this. Shift forwards to your plank, side plank on the left. So remember, you could pop your left knee down on a blanket or the floor, or feet together, roll onto the outside of the left foot, stack the right directly on top, start to peel the right arm open, grip your left fingertips and your knuckles, lift your right hip up to the sky, and breathe. Another deep breath. You've got this. Now, as smoothly as you can, pick up that right foot, bring it up, knee towards your chest, and you start to spin onto the left toes. Use your core and your quad to control the speed of this right foot stepping forward. Spin onto your left toes. Adjust your positioning if you need to. And we'll keep the chest low, take the belly off the thigh, lift the hands up just off of the mat there, hold. Press the left heel back and reach your crown forwards. Building some heat here in the right thigh. And when we stand up, push through the right heel, lift up the chest, lift up the hands, sink into your lunge, make it quite challenging. Press back through the left heel. And we're going to float as effortlessly as possible into Warrior 3. So hands to prayer. Lean forwards. Smoothly lift up onto the right foot. Lift the left foot up and out. Hands can remain at prayer. Engage your right quad, or stretch your right arms forward, not the right arm, the arms. Fingers away from the toes. Squeeze the left glutes, keep strong. 3 and 2 and 1. Hands down, find the ground. Slide that left shin down behind your right heel. Sit yourself carefully down to the floor and wrap your left arm or elbow or hand around your right knee. Take a twist. Rotate it for a moment the other way. Release some tension from your back. And we'll turn forwards and come into our boat. So lean back, shins up. You could hold onto your thighs or you could let go. If you're feeling extra, you could straighten out your legs and pause. All right, half boat. Lower your low back down. Stretch your legs out. Strong core. Really strong legs. Back up to boat. Come on up. You can help yourself up if you need to. That's it. Embrace the trembles. You can probably hear it in my voice too. Another one. Lower down, half boat. For 5. Squeeze 4, glutes, quads, thighs. 3. Belly down. 2. 1, back up. Up into boat. Nearly there. 3. And 2. And 1 last one of these yogis. You can do it. Down to your half boat. You can keep your knees bent if you need to. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. To the floor. Relax. Start to bring your feet in towards your bum. Hips distance apart, hands tickle the heels. Lengthen the tailbone towards your knees. Lift up your hips. You can squiggle up onto the upper arms if you like. Squeeze strongly through the glutes. We're holding here. One more breath. Release down. Nice and easy. All the way down. Take a twist if you like, knees to one side and the other, or just rest where you are for a moment. Last little bit. Coming up. Good. And we'll rock up and down. All the way up. You can put your feet out to the side, or you can go over cross legs, back to your plank. Prepare, yogis. 3 chaturanga push-ups. You can do these on the knees if you like. Shift forwards. Lower down halfway. Exhale. Inhale, press up. Exhale halfway. Inhale, float up. Last one. Inhale, float up. All the way. Downward facing dog. Steady your breath. Lovely, yogis. You can slide your right knee forwards to your right wrist. Come into a pigeon stretch. Hips sinking down. You can remain upright to stretch out your quad, or lower down to your forearms for a moment to target more the right glutes. Slowing your breath down. Lean onto your right hip and slide your left foot out at an angle. Tuck your right foot into the inner left thigh. Take your right hand up and stretch out over the left leg. You can rest your hand on the shin, the knee, or the foot. Good. Switch your legs. You can stretch your right one off at an angle, tuck the left one in. Left hand comes up. Reach out over the right leg. You can have your hand at your knee, your shin, or your foot. Deep breaths. And swing this right foot around into your pigeon pose, picking up the hips, squaring yourself up, and mirroring what you did on the other side. So if you stay down on your forearms, do so again. If you went into an upright pigeon, you can do that too. And you can lean onto your left hip again. Sweep your right foot back around in front of you so you end up in a cross-legged seat. Clasp your hands behind you. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. And bring your hands both over to the right hip and tilt your head to the right to stretch your neck and shoulder there. So your ear go in the same way that your hands are anchored. And switch out your sides, hands onto the left hip, left ear in the direction of the left shoulder. Good. Back to center. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. And release. You can lie on your back now. Find the mat. Bring both knees in towards your torso. Just get the low back onto the ground. Give yourself a little hug. You can rock gently side to side. Just a couple of final stretches. You can place the soles of the feet together on the floor and let the knees go wide. If this is intense for the inner thighs, you could place blocks or pillows underneath your thighs. Hands can rest out to the sides or as I've got on my belly. Just feel your breath. Everything's slowing down again. Bring your right knee up to center. Stretch your right arm like a cactus to the right. And let the right knee travel all the way over and rest on the left. Twist. If you would like to intensify this, you can hug the knees closer up towards your torso. Turn your head over to the right. And lift your head back to center. Lift the knees back up. Hands back on the belly or by your sides, back into your Supta Baddha Konasana, your reclining bound angle pose. Focus once again on the quality of your breath. And then the left knee can come up. Left arm counterweights over to the left like a cactus. Left knee rests on the right side. It could hover or rest on the right knee. You could also pull the knees up closer towards the torso to deepen. And look gently towards the left. And come back to the middle. Make sure you are somewhat straightened out in your back. If you'd like something under your knees as you rest in Shavasana, grab a blanket or bolster and slide it under there. If not, you can just start to stretch your way out, either fully flat or constructive rest, knees falling in together for a few minutes of stillness. Let the arms fall down by your sides. Palms facing the ceiling. Rest your whole body here. So the lower legs from the toes to the knees can soften. And the thighs from the knees up to the glutes release. Soften tension from the pelvis and from your belly. Let your shoulders relax into the mat. And let your arms just soften and release. Finally, if you accumulated any tension in your jaw, any strain in the eyes, invite that all to soften. You can just be. If you need a little longer in Shavasana, feel free to continue resting. And if you're ready to move on into the rest of your day or the rest of your evening, you can start to move your hands and your feet. Maybe a gentle rock of your head as well, side to side. You might bend your knees, continue to just move and reawaken. clasp your hands in front of your chest and stretch them up over the top of your head. Breathe in deeply. And as you exhale, you can roll onto your side. And please press your way up, yogi, to a comfortable seated position. Placing your hands together in front of you, take a moment to thank yourself for all of your efforts on your mat today. And let's breathe in deeply and out fully. Thank you for your practice, yogi. Namaste.